When you walked into the room today, did you think of anyone else beside yourself? When you walked in today, did you think to yourself, you know what, we gather as believers biblically to spur one another on to love and good deeds, to encourage one another, to give courage to other people, to go do what God's called them to do? Did you come in as a lover of people saying, I just want to encourage, that's what I came here to do, is not to consume for me. Although I hope you learn something, hope you get something from the scriptures. But did you come in with any thought of, I want to encourage someone, I want to build someone up? Or was it all you? I tried to think, if it ended here, what would our generation in this timeline, our generation of church and Christianity here in Southern California, what would it be remembered for? Try to think in the big scheme. You got to step back and know, okay, what's taken place all these years? How did it start? We read the book of Acts. We saw how it detoured with different churches in the epistles. You know, we read Revelation and we see the state of the church there. And we look through church history, some good periods, some bad periods, mostly bad. And yet few individuals standing up. Okay, so now we get here to where we are. 2010, what would we be remembered for? This generation that I've been a part of. The church that I've been a part of for the last 30 years. If it ended here, what would we be remembered for in the scheme of things? And I tried to just think objectively about that. From kind of a bird's eye view. And how are we weird that we don't see? Because we've just been in it. I believe if it ended now, there'd be a little period of history right here called the consumer age of the church, where the norm was you show up to these places and you consume. It's an age that was weird because there was more Bible knowledge than ever before, more Bible knowledge accessible through the internet. You can listen to anything. You had all this information about God and about the scriptures right at their fingertips. And yet people started getting picky about going, well, I'll only take the word of God if it comes through this person's mouth. I need this type of personality. I'll only sing with this type of song, this style of music. I want to show up to a place. I want you to feed me. I want you to disciple my kids. I want to be able to bring my neighbors, and I want you to lead them to the Lord. I want you to disciple them, and we'll pay you. And if I don't like the way you do it, I'll find another place. You guys, I know that's normal, but it is weird in line with church history. To have a period where people can be a part of the church for 10, 20 years and never make a disciple. And also one of the richest societies to ever grace this planet. People, we're in like the top 5% of the world, richest people in the world, and yet we're consumed with wanting more. It's weird if you look at it from a bird's eye view. See, for years, what we've been doing is we've been trying to get people in groups just to love each other. But it doesn't really work unless we're on a mission together. Because when you're on a mission together, the bond naturally happens. See, that's what was happening in the early church. These were the people that are getting ostracized. People that were getting rejected by their own families and from the general population. And so as they're trying to make disciples, man, there was a unity amongst them. And the reason why we don't have that same thing in the church is because we're not on mission together. And I got to ask you, do you love him right now? Like you personally, can you describe this thing you have with God as more than just a belief system, but really a love relationship? I mean, is this really about you? Is your relationship with God really yours? Like if your family today decided we will never pray to Jesus again, we will never read out of that Bible, we'll never go to that church, we'll never, pursue this mission, we're done with that. What would you do as a human, as an individual? Like, would you say, you know what, I don't care, mom, dad, brother, sister, friends, I don't care. You do what you need to do, but I love Jesus so much. I love him with all of my heart, all my soul, all of my mind. I love him more than I love you guys. And so even though you guys all leave, and I hate seeing that, I'm going to keep following because I am in love with him. I really am. You got to know that that's true about you, that your relationship with him is really yours. And the reason why this is so important, because there's going to come a day when you stand before God alone. It's you and him. It's you and God. And at that time, he says one of two things for you. Either he says, well done, good and faithful servant, like we've been talking about, which is our dream. Or he says to you, depart from me, I never knew you. I knew your wife. I loved your wife. She loved me. I knew your kids. I knew your friends. I knew these people in your neighborhood. Man, they loved me. But I never knew you. Depart from me, I never knew you. You never loved me. You only loved me because your family did. You only loved me because you're interested in this person or this friendship or this relationship. And that's why it's so important that it's your own relationship with God.